Hey there, art family. This is Dr. She of the Wondrous Works Collection. I am so excited to come to you today with a chance to talk with one of the most fabulous artists I've ever met. You will know that because there are a number of his works in my collection. But I'm excited to sit down and talk to him with you and share with you like the inner workings in the fantastic, dynamic, gifted psyche of Calvin Coleman. Was that too much? Did I do too much? But I am just excited about this opportunity to sit down with you and us to talk about his career and his giftedness in the fine art. So, welcome, Calvin.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me. I just want to thank Dr. Wright for having me here and being able to talk to you all about what it is I do and the evolution of it all.
Oh, wow. So we gonna go ahead and get started. So, Mr. Coleman, Mr. Coleman, how would you describe your artistic practice in this current phase of your giftedness? And check it, I'm not saying your career.
Yes.
I'm saying I'm very intentional. Your giftedness.
Thank you. Right now, I would say that my practice is like a trip across country, driving. And what I mean by that is it's an ongoing process. And at this point, at this present moment, I'm so far from where I began, in a good way. Mm-hmm. I'm at a stage where my creativity is so far, I don't know if I should use advanced, but it's so far from where I began. And it just keeps going. I'm always thinking, always processing, and then just applying it.
So it's interesting. I've been to your space. I've been to your workspace. I've brought some of my sisters. I don't know if you remember this. I brought some of my sisters over to your home, and and they went into your workspace and almost lost their mind. I think one of them almost had to get a hold of herself just looking, and lost the mindset that there were steps that she needed to go down, right?
Oh yeah.
And everything that they saw was just like, I gotta have this one. I like this one. What am I gonna do? And here I am being crazy, saying, you know what? If you put it down, don't pick it. You better hold on to it, because if you put it down, somebody else is going to look at it. And sure enough, that actually happened.
It always happens.
I started. I think what we say, I have about 13 of your works.
13 or 14
of your works, and I have seen from the time that I started totally being gripped by the art till now. I have seen like variations of your work, right? And it seems like I've seen you as you've kind of evolved a little bit in your artistry, right?
Yes.
And you and I have talked about this. We've talked about some things about how you create, when it just gets to you and you can't put the brush down. But how do you know when a work is finished?
Great question. For me, as an artist, I don't think a work is ever finished. Mm-hmm. But for the viewer, they see it as complete. Mm-hmm. But I can go back to a painting and see where I can enhance, take away, So I don't think that my work is ever complete.
So there's a difference in viewing the work and seeing the work and understanding the work, right?
Yes.
So sometimes when you're looking at it, your initial your initial thought is one thing, but then when you actually see it, there's a difference. When you might get something totally different. There are some pieces in the collection that you've created that every time I look at it, I see something different and even more powerful. And we're going to get into that because I think one piece that it's a couple pieces, but one in particular, my last acquisition is one that is just powerful, it's hard for me to move from that spot. But my question is, what are you hoping that people who view your work, collect your work, will view and understand about your work?
Yeah. My hope is I want people to see my work and know that I am a man of peace. And I think that transcends through my art. It evokes emotions. It allows them, they can see themselves in the painting. They feel the painting, and it gives them an understanding of me as the artist.
So folks, I'm going off script, right? So Calvin's probably going to kick me for this later, but in behind us there is a piece of Calvin's work, and this is, I don't know which number this was in the ones that I acquired, but what gripped me about the piece was the pensive nature initially of the subject, right? And it took Mr. Coleman, the dynamic one that he is. He gonna get me after this, y'all. It took Mr. Coleman to show me that there was a map of, what is it? Is it a subway map, or is it a map of the city of Chicago? And I think it's a subway map.
It's just like an aerial view.
An aerial view. And the name of the piece is Chicago on My Mind. Now I got the pensive part, but he did something that was so dynamic that I didn't see and wouldn't even have noticed. I thought maybe he just took a piece of something so that it would be a mixed media type piece, right? But did not connect the dots until he shared with me the name of the piece, and I was like, man, I gotta have this one. Yeah. I gotta have, because it was so different than any original work at that part of my journey from a contemporary artist that I've ever seen. There's another piece that that this one blew me. I was in and I'm just sharing because this brother right here, folks, I feel like, I don't know how to describe it. I know he thinks I'm crazy because he's always laughing at me. But there is just something in every work that I have. First of all, I don't make it it's not my modus operandi, if you will, to acquire so many pieces of work by one artist. So if I'm acquiring work by a contemporary artist with double, to the point that it's double digits at that point, there is something that draws me to the work each and every time. And so I have stories about pretty much each work that I've acquired from Calvin Coleman. There are times when I've been in this spot and I say, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I literally have to chant and pray to not acquire the work. And that's the reason why I'm so excited to have him here. But I always end up getting it. So I don't know. I think I need to create an organization called Collectors Anonymous and put on the list Calvin Coleman, because I get myself in trouble every time. There's one other piece, and this is about him. Christ on the cross. We going off script.
Yes.
We going on. So I was in his spot, in his spot, and he had the piece up, and I was stuck, folks. I literally could not move. I couldn't move. And I had one of my sisters with me. I could not move because he had created that piece, Cassidy, in such a way where I felt like I was at the feet of Christ on the cross. And that's just how dynamic his work is to me. That it takes you to a place so that you could get really stuck. And it makes you think. I mean, it just, you start to see something more in a piece that of how it resonates with you, right? And so I just want to kind of, is that something you think about when you're creating?
Yeah, and to speak on that, my focus, like I had mentioned, was if I can evoke emotions from someone through my work, then I think I've done my job. Mm-hmm. Aside from them purchasing it. Mm-hmm. But if I can get the viewer to be mesmerized by a feeling, mood, what have you, then I'm happy with that. And how do I do that? Colors. Mm-hmm. I consider myself a colorist, mm-hmm. A fauvist. Someone that uses bright colors and many colors, but also there's certain techniques that you have to create to get those emotions going. And with that being said, the use of different mediums, the use of swirls of the tools that I use when I paint, and I just don't use a brush. I use different tools, and all of that plays. They're like ingredients to a recipe. They play a part in getting you to feel the way you do. So that's my angle. How can I evoke emotions from my audience?
Yeah, it's interesting. It is interesting because I have another piece that you created with Christ hanging on the cross. It's a smaller piece.
Yes.
And I got something from that, right? That that spoke to me because I had just gone through, I think I saw it after Resurrection Sunday, mm-hmm. and I just been to a service. So what was going on or what was said on the service, right, what the minister preached on the service kind of struck me when I saw that piece, right? And then to see the same subject matter in a different piece totally took me to another place. So that's the one dynamic that I realized that you have in your artistry. Not to say that other artists don't have it, but it's just in a level of intensity mm-hmm. that I haven't often seen in some of the work that I've seen. I'm not saying all artists. Somebody's going to say, we should. I'm not talking about all artists. I'm talking about what my eyes beheld, right? There's a level of intensity there that is just, it kind of stops you where you are. And that's truly special.
Thank you.
But I could talk about specific works all day. We don't have that kind of time, so we're gonna move it on.
Okay.
So how do you navigate as an artist? How do you navigate between your professional integrity or your artistic integrity and market demand?
Sure. Well, let's start with the integrity part. As an artist, I believe I am always true to myself. And what do I mean by that? I paint what I want. To keep it simple.
Yes.
I don't believe I paint to what I think someone's going to want mm-hmm. or acquire, but I paint what speaks to my soul, which transcends to it speaking to other people's souls. So I'm very blessed and thankful for that, because it has spoken to a lot of souls.
Right.
You know. Now the demand part, that has enhanced from being in one gallery in 2004.
Wow.
To 7 galleries to date. So that's the demand part, because what that means is that there is a demand for my work. And I mean, even to the point where there have been waiting lists people have signed to acquire my work. So that's what I would say as far as the demand is concerned.
So there's a lot that went into. I think it also speaks to, you know, your imagery as an artist. Like there's always something for you to tell. There's a story for you to tell in each work.
Yes.
And it resonates with people in a different way. You know, I've seen work that you have that in some way is reflective of various stages in the seasons of my lifetime. And so obviously there's something in that. Everybody sees something differently, but there's something that resonates with each person.
Yes. Yes. And the backbone of all of that is, I would say, is some form of spirituality. And I would even step out on a limb and say all of my work has some type of spirituality in it. Now, what does that mean? That means that when you start talking on that realm, you're really touching someone's inner person, their soul, which makes them gravitate to your work. You know, I'm not just painting a sunflower, but I'm painting subjects that either through the eyes will grab you, or the colors may grab you, or the stance of a subject may grab you. When I paint, I'm trying to be a body snatcher.
Okay. So we really going off script now. So it's interesting you just said that, because there is one particular piece that I had never intended, and you probably know where I'm going because it's right in front of you. That this is the one piece that every time folks have come into the Mecca space, especially for art in the summertime, I am getting at least one person, Caston, that wants to buy the piece from me. And I said, no way, no blickety blick, how?
Yeah.
Right? And it's a piece called Fearless. And what struck me about the piece is just the colors, right? That grabbed me, and the intensity of the eyes of the woman in the piece, right? But I kid you not, if some of you that may see this and you know me, you know of me, you know some people that know me, because the DMV is relatively small but big. Anyone that has asked me, I'm literally, folks, every time people come out here, they're asking, can they buy? Is it for sale? And I say, absolutely not. What was in you to capture that stare of that woman? First of all, the sheen of the woman is, you know, I'm loving the blues and the greens, and you know, because we are more than just black paint.
Can we pan it over there? Is that possible?
He could shoot it. Okay. And so what was in you, brother?
Yeah.
To come up with a piece like she looking at folk like knuck if you buck. She looking at them like, you know what I'm saying? I dare look. I double dog, Cassie. I double dog dare you. You know what I'm saying? She looking at don't you even try it, right? I think it's like every woman of color at some point in their existence had that look. What's going on there, bro?
You know, I'm going to take this back in time a little bit, but, you know, let's take the civil rights era and how people of color were beaten down and you know, just mistreated. But there comes a time when you got to put your foot down.
Come on now, preach.
And what better way? Now, I didn't intend for this to be a civil rights piece, but what better way to show that in today's era of a woman with her arms folded, staring at you and daring you to even think about mistreating her. You know, and I just made it, you know, in today's world, you know, very colorful. It just speaks volume.
So when did you paint that piece? When did you create that piece? How long ago was that?
Maybe 7 years ago.
And how prophetic is it?
Oh, it resonates. I mean, it's today's
timeless.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's how prophetic is it? Like, I mean, just as much as I'm in touch with Christ on the cross and some of the other pieces we've talked about, even more so that, you know what I'm saying? This is, you know, folks, this is truly Calvin and I talking because we've known each other a long time. I felt like he's a kindred spirit, and he's always laughing at me because I call him with some of the craziest things. I can see his work in the gallery. I got 2 or 3 different nicknames for Calvin. We're not gonna get into that in this thing. But when I see his work in the gallery, I get mad at him. He can tell you. I get mad. I'm texting that brother, calling that brother, saying, "No, you won't. No, you won't. You know you working my reserve nerve. Did you create something like this?" And first of all, I'm retired now, folks. So I ain't got that kind of collective buying money that I had before. And secondly, it's like somebody bought it and I'm in my feelings. I'm glad that he's, you know, he got a new collector that acquired it, but I'm in my feelings because I wasn't able to get it. He and I are going to talk about that offline. But this is just as much as I really, much of what he creates speaks to me. He's not the only artist who's created work that speaks to me, but of this age, I have to say, it's timeless. You know what I'm saying? The work is timeless. Like, we're in an age now where we're going through a lot as people of color. We're going through a lot as women. They said 300,000 women have been terminated or released from positions since 2025. And so to look at that man, that could be the poster child. Like, if you want to go commercial and get that, put it on a journal, on a book, on a t-shirt, I mean, that bad boy would sell. Not to say we commercializing, but I'm just saying that the work speaks for itself. Yes. And it brings out what we feel. You know, so I don't know what goes. Did you ever thought about, we're going off script, your work being timeless like that? Like it just transcends the time period in which you created it?
No, because when you're in the moment, when I'm in the moment of painting, I'm in that moment. And it doesn't really go to another level until someone sees it. That's when it goes to a whole nother level of being timeless or, you know, revered as such. But when I'm painting, let me say this. When I'm painting, I get a whole nother view than I do when I'm finished the painting and it's hanging on a wall somewhere. that is when if I have a gallery showing and I go to the gallery and look at my work on the walls, that is when I get to appreciate my work, because I'm able to see the product on a wall. Usually I'm up close in front of it, and I can't see everything, although I'm creating it.
Right. So I follow you on Facebook, so I noticed that while you're creating, sometimes you capture images of yourself creating, right?
Yeah, and that's just little snippets.
Right. So the point that I'm making there is sometimes I'm seeing you like right on top of the work.
Yes.
And then sometimes I see you like standing back away from the work.
Yes.
So how does that play into your creative space?
Well, standing close for me and sitting close for me is more or less me getting really, really into it, wrestling with it. Standing away from it a little bit is allowing me to see where I might want to touch something up or what have you. There's always different angles for me, different angles to approach my work. But I really appreciate my work when I see it hanging.
Right.
Because then I'm like, wow, oh, I did that. Oh, I could have did this.
So like when you're in it, you're not necessarily focused in that way. So when it's done and hanging up in a gallery.
Yeah, it's a whole nother visual for me.
Yeah.
And like I always say, I don't think the artist, I don't think my work is ever complete. When I see it hanging, I'm looking at it like, oh, I can do this, I can do that to it.
Okay. So what is your MO, or what is your thoughts about what it takes to maintain a sustainable artist career?
One thing I pride myself in is being very prolific with my artistry. And what do I mean by that? Being consistent is the most important thing to me in creating art. Because if you're consistent, that means you're putting out work. And I keep saying for me, but for me, to create work and create a body of work, that gives you the opportunity to show people your styles, your creativity. I wouldn't consider myself a serious artist if I only had 10 works in my house. That's unfathomable.
You got more
for
than
me.
that.
Yeah. And I'm going to throw a number at you, and this is just to give you an idea and nothing else. I have over 120 paintings in my house. Now, why? Oh, and I got more out of my house in different places. But why is that? Because I'm serious about my business. I paint when people are partying, when people are enjoying the sun, when people are taking a walk. Calvin's painting. I'm indoors, and that's a sacrifice. I've had that conversation before. Sure, I like to do things. I like to go places, but I can't do what I believe I'm put on this earth to do if I'm doing those other things. Art is serious to me, and I think that I continue to prove that over time. I'm very consistent. Yeah.
So nice segue. So which artists or movements or disciplines have influenced your artistry to a greater extent, right?
Yeah.
The most.
I have a few, and they come from different nationalities. There's a Russian artist. He's passed away, but his name is Nicolas de Stael. He's a French-Russian artist, abstract artist. I love his abstracts. Now, one thing about me, I paint abstractly along with my figurative work, and I intertwine the two.
Yeah.
A lot of my abstraction came from reading on him and looking at his works. Huge fan of Richard Mayhew. Okay, why? Colors. They blew me away, and therefore I've become a very colorful artist. I like Pablo Picasso. Why? Because he had so many different styles of art. I can appreciate that. I have quite a few different styles of art that I do. Romare Bearden, Jacob Lawrence. They all have had a voice in my creativity. And that's just to name a few. Matisse, Henri Matisse. Sometimes I add collage and paperwork in my work. I've got that from reading his books and looking at his work. And of course I do it in my style, but definitely artists have influenced me.
So you named artists that you've named many artists, a number of artists that are not, I don't want to say one-dimensional, but that's the term that comes to mind, is that they have different techniques for exploring their artistry, that it's not just paint on canvas, that it is, collage, mixed media, which I've noticed that you've had some shifting into the mixed media.
Yes.
So that all connects with how you're evolving. So in mentioning those artists, how would you say it definitely influences, but is there also, in a way, the evolution of Calvin Coleman?
Absolutely. When I first started painting, that's what I did. I painted with paint, obviously. But in growing in my artistry and creating and learning about different artists, I have learned how to basically become an architect on canvas.
Oh, wow. That's different.
Yeah. I look at myself as an architect on canvas, and the reason why I look at myself like that is because I'm not just using paint. I use textiles, wood, compound paste, to build up the canvas. I'm at a point now where when I paint, I'm actually creating more than one painting in that one painting.
Wow.
You could dissect my paintings now and have 3 or 4 different paintings within it. And that's what I'm enjoying doing, that process.
It's interesting because you pretty much answered my last question.
Sorry.
Which is, what are you currently exploring that excites you the most? And you've touched on that.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you would like to add to that?
Yes. I am exploring. I try to outdo myself from the day before. Okay? And what do I mean by that? I can create a piece yesterday, but today I'm trying to outdo that piece. How do I do that? By allowing my mind to be free. Many times we get stuck and think one way is the only way. But I don't look at my art that way. I am always trying to push myself. It's very important for me to do so because, I think every artist would like to have their own lane and be, this is his style of work or her style of work. But I want all 4 lanes covered on a highway. I don't want to be in one lane. I want to have this style, I want to have that style, and I want to be prolific in each. And that has been my goal. That has actually come to fruition. And I need to enhance that.
This is a question. This is our last question, folks. But the interesting thing is, I think I've known you now for more than 10 years, right? I started collecting your work. I know it's been more than 10 years ago.
Yes.
And so there's Calvin 2010, Calvin 2020. We are now at Calvin 2026. And you've seen how you've been blessed to have multiple galleries representing you, which is huge, right? You've published a book, right?
Yes.
So come on, 2030 to Calvin. What can we see? Not necessarily, because I don't know if you have a vision for yourself for 2030, but I'm just saying, what can we glean or maybe even see into Calvin 2030?
Well, I think in 2030, you're going to see a more polished Calvin. Some may say, my work is polished now.
I was thinking that I just wasn't going to say it because I didn't want to disturb your flow. But go on, man.
But my goal is to be the best that I can be. So even though it's polished now, it's tarnished to me.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah. It's tarnished to me because I know. Let me break it down like
Please.
this. You know when you know.
Okay.
You know when, and I'm going to say this humbly, but I'm going to speak my truth today.
Come on.
You know when you have a gift. You know when you've been blessed. Mm-hmm. You know when you didn't have. Mm-hmm. And you know when, it's time to keep going. Mm-hmm. And none of that, I've had some success in art. I'm very thankful for it. But I really believe at the age that I'm at now, I'm just at the tip of the iceberg.
You have miles to go before you sleep.
And honestly, some people say, well, why do you paint so much and you need to get some sleep? Yeah, true. But guess what? My motto is I'll sleep when I'm...
You have miles to go before you sleep.
Yeah, I'll sleep when I'm going.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah. There's so much that I want people to get more out of my work that I haven't even put on canvas yet. Mm-hmm. So many different series to paint. So it's I don't even know if I answered your question.
You did. You did.
Great answer.
Yeah.
I tell you, I think you are one of the greatest that the DMV has to offer. I'm so excited. Most people don't think about this area. You know what I mean? As an area that breeds dynamic and prolific artists. And I'm just really excited as far as what I'm seeing in this space, in this region, of the type of just sheer creativity and giftedness that the artists have, and you have been a blessing. And I'm just saying, for me personally,
Thank you.
you have been a blessing, not just to the Wondrous Works collection, but to me as a person, right? That can really find quiet time and just pull out something in me or remind me of what's most important. And there's some artwork in this collection, and we've talked about it and I've mentioned it, that just reminds me of what it centers me. It helps me to get, when you have a 10-hour day, right? And you come home, folks, and you sit in a space that, in that space is a body of work that helps to get your mind right. You know, for me, some of you know this about me, that my day before retirement was more than 10 hours because I was commuting to DC every day, and I refused. The devil is a lie about the metro. We ain't doing it. Okay? And so, real talk, shame devil, is the metro, it is, especially when you get stuck on the metro for 3 hours. And then got to get to the MARC train. That thing crumbles your whole psyche, you know? But just coming home and having work that just gets your mind right. And you say, Sheila, is it that deep? Sometimes when you're struggling and you've had a day, you know, whether it's music, whether it's artwork, whether it's something that helps to get your mind right. And I just feel like there are different pieces that reflect, you know, different stages of our life. That's what art is. Art is a reflection of who we are. The African American art genre is a reflection of who we are as a people, our struggles, right? Our triumphs, right? Our midnight hours, our sunrise hours, right? You talked about Mayhew. Man, you could get caught in Mayhew work.
Yeah.
You know, so I just thank you for the opportunity to share your story with us, to clown with me a little bit. I know you're gonna have a lot to say when we wrap this but I am thankful. I'm thankful for you being a part of my journey, and I'm thankful that we can share who CC Squared is. That's my nickname, y'all. I got many nicknames for folk in my life, you know, artists, friends, whatever. But I thank you for taking the time. I don't.
Thank you.
I don't take it for granted that you spent time with me today, and I'm hoping that the people, collectors, new collectors, and enthusiasts will see you in your work.
Yes.
Right, and that you're not one-dimensional.
No, not at all.
Right?
Not at all.
And that you're just that type of brother. So I appreciate you. I thank you.
Thank you.
Now listen, y'all, and we're gonna cut this one off. I've told Mr. Coleman a number of times, I'm not buying another piece of artwork by Calvin Coleman. I always end up lying to myself. So, but I think 13 is a good number. But then again, I've already talked to him about another piece. So hang in there. We might have an addition to the Faces wall after a while. But I thank you all for taking time to just see what we see about this brother. And listen, you all be good and you know, get some art in your life. Keep some art in your life. Grow some art in your life. God bless.